You are in the exam, you read all the sentences, every option looks correct, but nothing makes sense. That's exactly why most students lose marks in reorder paragraph. Not because it's hard, but because they don't know how to use the strategies. Good day everyone, this is Rashid and welcome back to Ace Language. I am a Pearson certified professional PTE trainer and I have been teaching PTE since 2015. Over the years, I have helped thousands of students achieve their target PTE score for study and permanent residency. If you are targeting your proficient or superior PTE score, this video is extremely important for you because today I'm going to show you a clear system to resolve reorder paragraph without guessing. First, let's quickly understand what this question type is. Reorder paragraph, also known as ROP, is the third question type in the PTE reading module. You will get a short text of around 50 to 110 words, and you need to arrange 4 to 5 sentences in the correct order. In the exam, you will get 2 to 3 questions for reorder paragraph. Now, there is the most important thing that most students do not know. Your score is not based on the full correct answer. Your score is based on correct pairing. That means for every correct connection between 2 sentences, you get a mark. So even if your full answer is not perfect, you can still score, and you can score significantly. For example, if the correct sequence is A, B, C, D, there will be 3 pairs, AB, BC, and CD. Let's say you answered AC and BD. You may think that you got your introduction and conclusion right. That means you scored well, right? Wrong. See, your pair for AC is wrong, and then CB is also wrong. Again, BD is also wrong. So despite getting both introduction and conclusion right, you will score 0. Now let's consider another scenario where you answered CD, AB. What do you think your score is? Right, you are. You got 2 marks. As you got 2 pairs correct, CD is a pair and AB is another pair. And that means despite getting both intro and conclusion wrong, you have gotten 2 marks. So now you know how pairing works. In terms of contribution, read aloud contributes to your reading score only, and it contributes around 9% of your reading score and about 3% of your total overall score. Now let's talk about what you have to do within the time. In your PTE test, in the reading module, you'll get 23 to 25 minutes to answer 15 to 18 questions. That means for reorder paragraph, you should not spend more than a minute to 1.5 minutes if you want to answer all the fill in the blanks with proper time. Now, let's break down your whole reorder paragraph into 3 simple steps. Step 1 of the strategy is eliminating wrong introductions. Your first job is not to find the correct answer. Your job is to remove wrong options. An introduction cannot start with a pronoun, especially when that pronoun acts as the subject of the sentence. If you see words like he, she, it, or they, that means something is missing before it. An introduction cannot also start with a discourse marker like however, moreover, or therefore, because these words always connect to a previous sentence. Finally, watch for articles carefully, especially when articles like the cannot sit before a noun. They normally do not become your introduction if the same noun is present with a or an. For example, if you see a book and the book, definitely your introduction will be a book, not the book, right? Step number 2, now let's find out the introduction. Now, choose the correct starting sentence, and the introduction is always a general statement or a topic sentence. It introduces the topic clearly and is a complete idea. Do not confuse this with a complete sentence. For example, he is a brilliant student. This is a complete sentence, but not a complete idea, because we do not know who that he is referring to. Step 3. Find out the pairs. This is the most important step. You will not solve this by guessing the full order. You will solve it by finding connections. Just keep the following 7 rules in your mind. Rule 1. The object is one sentence often becomes the subject in the next one. Rule 2. Look for repeated keywords. Rule 3. Full name always comes before the short name. Rule 4. Creators come before creation. Rule 5. Past events come before present ones. Rule 6. Problems come before solution. And rule number 7 is always definition comes before description. If you follow these 3 simple steps that eliminate, identify, and connect, reorder paragraph becomes predictable, not problematic. Now, in the next part, I will show you real exam questions and solve them step by step using these exact strategies that we learned. So make sure you watch this video till the end. Now let's do the first question. As this is the first one we are going to do today, I'm going to go a bit slow. Right, so just as I hope all of us remember what we learned, that the first thing that we have to do is to eliminate those sentences that cannot be my introduction, right? So let's look at the first sentence. Once out in the open air, mating takes place as they fly. So they fly. My question is, can I really understand who are these they? Right, without really reading any other sentences of this paragraph. If I look at this sentence, they fly in swarms usually for about 40 minutes. It doesn't really tell me who are these they, right? Hence, this cannot be my introduction. Like many insects, termites display a fixed life cycle in which they live underground. Here, the word they is there, but before we have which, and this which is actually referring to termites and obviously their life cycle. So this they is not going to make any difference for it to be introduction. I'm not saying this is my introduction, I'm saying it has a high possibility of becoming introduction, and even if it is not my introduction, it cannot be for this they. Right? They live underground, fly and lay eggs at different stages of their existence. Looks like it is possible for it to be my introduction. I'm going to the next sentence. As they mature beneath the soil, as they mature, again who? Right? Who is this they, or who are these they? They develop wings in preparation for the time when they fly. They will emerge from their colony. So again, here is they, but as in this sentence, there is no other nouns that actually clarify who is this first they. It does not clarify who is the second they as well, hence cannot be my introduction. After this, now after means something happened before. Am I right? So if something has happened before, even though the next part says the termites, that means it's a noun which is a characteristic for it to be my introduction. The question remains, what happened before it? So without reading what happened or knowing what happened before it, I cannot really say the meaning of this particular sentence, or this after this is not clear. So this cannot be my introduction either. These wingless termites, so we all know termites is an insect that has wings. So for it to be wingless, it needs to have some sort of things before it. Will then, again then means something that will happen after that. That means something before has happened. Go on to become kings and queens of newly established colonies. So this cannot be my introduction as well. So far only one sentence seems like can be my introduction, and that is number B. Now let us read number B again. Obviously in the exam I will not recommend you to keep on reading again and again, but for this time let's read it. Like many insects, termites display a fixed life cycle in which they live underground. Looks like there is a functionality or part of that life cycle. Fly and lay eggs at different stages of their existence. So we found some function here or some objects, if I have to be a bit more of our rules based word. And so we found three things: they live underground, they fly, and they lay eggs. Right, so let's see where can we get them, get this kind of wording. If I look at number C, as they mature beneath the soil, what does beneath the soil mean? Living underground, right? They develop wings. Why do they develop wings? Because of course they want to fly, right? In preparation for the time when they will emerge. Emerge means coming out, right, from their colony. So it is obvious that after B, the sentence I have to put in is number C. And so what we understand that they develop wings, they develop wings because they want to fly, and then eventually they will emerge, they will come out of the colony. So if we look at the first sentence, that is number A, it says once out in the open air. So see how emerge is referring to that out in the open air. Mating takes place as they fly. Because they developed wings, now they will fly in swarms, usually for about 40 minutes. So they fly for about 40 minutes. And so what happens if they fly? After this, the termites will land and lose their wings. After what? After they fly, because they're now flying, so they will obviously land. All right, so they land and lose their wings. So number D will be after that. If you are anyhow confused, see, it says, the last sentence, number E, says these wingless termites. So as we can see in number A, they are still flying. That means they do have their wings. So they cannot be wingless termites now. So the answer here will be B as your introduction, pairing with C. C will pair with A will pair with D, and D will pair with E. Now let's try the next one. In this one, we will try to answer it a bit faster, obviously, because in the exam we cannot really take that long that we took in the previous question. So I'm quickly skimming and scanning and trying to eliminate as many sentences or boxes as I can for my introduction. So first sentence says, after all, it's the world's tallest bridge. When we have after all, that's normally giving us a summarization of everything, and it's the world's tallest bridge. So I don't know which one is world's tallest bridge we are discussing about, hence this cannot be my introduction. However, the construction of a huge bridge over the river Tarn has made life easier by creating multiple traffic lanes. However, is the clue here, as we all learned, that if we have a discourse marker at the beginning with comma, that should not be our introduction. So this is not becoming my introduction. Traffic used to be a serious problem affecting people living in and around the French town of Millau. Looks like it can be my introduction, so I'll keep it. Its location near one of the most popular routes for motorists driving between Paris and Spain meant that, again, the issue of its location, I really don't know what that its is. So maybe something that we have referred before, but not in this sentence, so this cannot be my introduction. In addition to the effect it has had on traffic problems, the Millau Bridge should, so we are talking about Millau Bridge, in addition to the effect it has had, the issue is what? Millau Bridge, but in addition to, that means something in addition, that cannot be my introduction because something needs to be before that for it to be in addition. So my introduction is number C. And then let's read it again. Traffic used to be a serious problem affecting people living in and around the French town of Millau. Now, If we look at the next one, its location. Which one's location? We can talk about this French town of Millau. Its location near one of the most popular routes for most motorists driving between Paris and Spain meant that long lines of vehicles were once a common sight in Millau. So long lines of vehicles, that means traffic. However, the construction of a huge bridge over the river Tarn has made life easier by creating multiple traffic lanes. So what we used to see, that long lines of vehicles, and now we have multiple traffic lanes. That means we are about to solve this problem. So after C we put D, and then we will put number B, right? In addition to the effect it has had on traffic problems, so obviously multiple traffic lanes will have effect on traffic problems, the Millau Bridge should also be recognized as a great success in engineering. Why do we need to put it as a great success? After all, it's the world's tallest bridge, and it was even completed ahead of schedule. That's why. So why it was a success? Because number one, it was world's tallest bridge. That's an engineering masterpiece, and it completed ahead of time. So that's your last sentence. So your pairs are CD, DB, BE, EA. That's it for question number 2. Now let's try and answer this question within 1.5 minutes, like we suggested at the beginning of this video, right? So we need to maintain our time. What we will do is try to eliminate as many options as I can, as fast as I can, because I have very limited time. And then I will try to find out the right introduction and try to pair one by one. Let's start. My time begins now. After all, this cannot be my introduction, most likely that's my conclusion. Putting aside the obvious moral criticisms of this view, do not know, it cannot be my introduction. For him cannot be my introduction, however, cannot be my introduction. So number E is my introduction. Let's read it. Most corporate websites have sections discussing the company's social responsibility and values. Okay, let's talk about responsibility of values. Okay, now if I quickly skim it, I can see the influential economist Milton Friedman had a very different view about what companies should do. Companies social, he had a different view, and we have however. So this is the next sentence of my pair. What should they focus on then? And our clue here is for him, because we have Milton Friedman here. The only obligation companies needed to fulfill was to their shareholders. Okay, he had a different view, and that is all the responsibilities is to the shareholders. So companies were discouraged from doing anything which could prevent them from maximizing their financial gains. Only thing they do is financial gain. Putting aside the obvious moral criticism, obviously this is quite criticized view of this view, which view that it only owes responsibility to shareholders, even from an economic perspective, shareholder theory. So we can see that number B will come after that, obviously putting number A at the end. And if we look at it, after all, research has shown that companies which are perceived to have socially responsible are more likely to attract more consumers. So obviously that shows us this correct pairing is correct. So there you go. I was able to complete it within 1.5 minutes. Now if you rush it all the time in this way, there's no guarantee that it will happen correctly all the time, but it will work most of the time. So I hope you now realize after watching the demonstration that how easy reorder paragraphs can be and how they can be done efficiently and accurately within 1.5 minutes. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you are serious about achieving your target PTE score, we offer 2-week intensive courses, 1-month and 2-month program, and also one-on-one coaching in Bangladesh. In Australia, all our courses are one-to-one and fully customizable to your needs. You can contact us in Australia on 0456 446 963, in Bangladesh on 0188998291 or email us at info@acepte.com.au. We will guide you step by step to help you achieve your desired score.